Hey brother! Ben, last week I had the joy of spending an entire week at the lake with you and a bunch of some of our very awesome friends, and it was a great week, except we missed the new Good Dinosaur trailer. This is why you can't go on vacation, Ben. Just kidding, we had full LTE service the whole time. We're not cavemen. Unlike at least one character in this movie. In any case, I got quite a few tweets about it. Follow me on Twitter. People wanted to know what we thought, if it would fit into the Pixar theory, if it starts a brand new timeline, and honestly, I can't answer a ton of those questions yet, but today, what I wanted to do was give a full review, analysis, and some of my own predictions from the new trailer from The Good Dinosaur. If you haven't seen the new trailer for The Good Dinosaur, I've left a link down in the description and you can feel free to go watch that video now and then come back and watch this video. Although I don't think it's 100% necessary, so you could just watch this video, then go watch the trailer, then come back and watch this video again. You know, just to make sure you don't miss anything. To start things off, holy realistic looking branch in the rain. Oh my gosh, I'm not sure what it is about this branch and the rain, but it is so beautifully rendered. I mean, I wasn't even sure I was looking at CGI to begin with. And as much as I'm sure this is just Pixar showing off their software's capabilities, I also think the realistic scenery plays a role in the plot, but I'll come back to that later. Next we see a screen of text. A single moment can change history. It's an interesting tagline since apparently the premise of this movie is a single moment that didn't change history. That is, if the moment we are talking about is a meteor crashing into Earth and killing all the dinosaurs. The trailer seems to suggest that this is the moment because the very next thing we see is a meteor missing Earth. Fun fact, if you take a look at the Earth in the shot, you'll notice that the continents are all actually still really close together, kind of suggesting that Pangea only recently split. That's touch Pixar. Next we see a small rainbow newt. Possible Randall ancestor? No, absolutely not. Actually, the scene shows a small human boy, Spot, helping a dinosaur, Arlo, get a branch of food. And I think this is the moment the text is referring to, because honestly, a meteor missing Earth isn't a moment at all, it's just nothing. Next we hear the lone word in the entire trailer. I'm not sure whether it's Arlo or Spot who says this, but I'm guessing it's Arlo. If I had to guess, I would say Spot probably won't be able to speak at all, or maybe just a few small words. Moving on, we next see some buffalo and a campfire, and sitting around that campfire, I initially thought were humans, but upon further inspection, it is definitely some T-Rex-esque looking dinosaurs using that campfire. That's pretty intelligent, much more intelligent than I was thinking this movie was going to make the dinosaur, so I'm interested to see how that plays out. I mean, using fire is typically a very human thing. Next, we get to see an amazing shot of a giant dinosaur emerging from the forest, from which he is very well camouflaged into. There's a small detail you might have missed. His eyes are a little offset, and it's a small detail, but I think it says a lot about what the character of this dino might be. One, he could be a little kooky and yet wise advisor, not unlike the witch in Brave. Or two, I can see him with his massive size and animals just living on him and his eyes going in different directions as he's just kind of crazy comic relief, but who has a lot of power to offer. Personally, I think it's the former. Next is maybe my favorite scene in the entire trailer. It's Arlo uncovering a bunch of lightning bugs, much to the fascination of Spot. The animation is beautiful, but what I find really interesting is that the lightning bugs glow green instead of yellow like they do in the present. Green seems to be a very heavy motif for safety and good in this film. I mean, Arlo is green, Spot's eyes are green, the fireflies are green, there's tons of green nature. Honestly, it's when everything stops being green and it's either like red or blue or gray that things seem to start going bad for the duo. In the next scene, we see Arlo falling into a forest of what looks like the same kind of trees the giant dinosaur was camouflaging himself in, and then appears to come face to face with a giant red snake monster. Although these scenes are not actually connected, you can see there's no cliff for him to have fallen down in the snake monster scene. Next, we see three bipedal carnivorous dinosaurs running on a half green, half red landscape. I'm guessing these are the same T-Rex-esque dinosaurs we saw earlier around the red fire. These three are likely to pose a threat to Arlo and Spot, but I doubt they're actually the main villains. We've seen trios of dangerous creatures in other Pixar movies, such as the sharks in Finding Nemo and the dogs in Up. I bet one of those T-Rexes is much more serious, and the other two were just sort of goofy sidekicks who, nonetheless, still pose a threat. Moving on, we see Arlo and Spot running from some pterodactyls, and they appear to be running on ice, which also has lava flowing through it, and to make matters worse, whatever's in front of them, Arlo also appears to be afraid of, so I swear that guy's afraid of everything. Also, notice the burnt trees in the background. I'm telling you, fire. Going to be a problem for him. In fact, the burnt trees are also visible in the next scene where two of the T-Rexes charge at Arlo. Or actually, it only looks like they're charging at him because in the next scene we see him screaming, but upon further inspection, he's screaming because Spot is biting him on the leg. And that pretty much wraps up the trailer. I mean, it's hard to get a good grasp of what the movie will be about just from this trailer, but I think it looks really good. People keep describing it to me as a boy and his dog movie, except it's a boy and his dinosaur movie, but I think that's inaccurate. To me, it looks more like a Dinosaur and his boy movie. They also don't show us a definitive villain. I mean, they might be hiding that on purpose, but it also might be because there isn't a definitive villain. There's threats and lots of fire and heavy rain, and he's cascading through a river at one point. I mean, nature itself might be the villain. The elements will certainly play a role in this adventure. I also mentioned earlier how I thought the animation itself might lend itself to the plot. Here's what I mean by that. All of the environments, like that branch in the rain at the beginning, look freaking beautiful in this trailer. What doesn't look so good, weirdly, is the dinosaurs. They all look super cartoony, and Arlo especially. It's like they just don't fit in, but I think that might be the point. Arlo doesn't fit in. He appears to be afraid of everything. We don't see his family at all. He's consorting with humans, and I think his weird animation just draws that attention to the fact that his character is an outcast. But it's not just him, it's all the dinosaurs. I mean, they all look weird. I mean, not as weird, but weird. But I think that's, again, intentional. This is the story of what if the meteor didn't hit the Earth? So, yeah, the dinosaurs shouldn't be there right now. This is a time past which they should exist. And the juxtaposition of their goofiness versus the awesome landscape, I think really just drives this home. Ben, that's all I got. My question for you and everybody else is, did I miss anything? Are you looking forward to this movie? And do you think the dinosaurs look weird compared to nature? Let me know down in the towel section below, and I will see you in another life, brother.
These socks are amazing!
Also, just one big final thank you to all of you guys out there who are watching these videos. We hit 150,000 subscribers over the weekend, and it just like blew my mind. It's amazing, and we just have you guys to thank. This is the most fun thing we do, and we don't ever want to stop. So keep watching, we'll keep making videos.